Hello everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel School of Automation. So guys, today I'm going to cover most important topic from Selenium interview point of view. Usually interviewer ask about most common Selenium exception and when all these exception gets occurred and how you can handle all these exception. So here I will cover all these three aspects about Selenium exception, like what are different type of exception we have in Selenium and when all these will occur and how we can handle all these. So now let's see the first one, that is invalid selector exception. So this exception occurred due to an incorrect locator when the syntax for XPath or CSS are not valid. Like here you can see two example where invalid example of CSS locator. Here I am just using hash means ID and value of the ID is ABC, and by mistake I put this hash at the end also. So if you will this CSS locator, then you will definitely get this invalid selector exception. And similarly for here I am using invalid XPath locator, and instead of forward slash I am just putting a backward slash in order to make this XPath as incorrect. So now if you will use this XPath, then definitely will get this invalid selector exception. So solution for this exception will be like to avoid this exception, first check the locator syntax. If it is incorrect, make sure the locator is syntactically correct. So means there is no explicit solution for this. So we have to cross verify the syntax of CSS or XPath locator. So now let's see the next one, that is no such session exception. As the name suggested, the exception is thrown if a method is called post the browser is closed. Other reason for this exception include a browser crash. So it means, so you can say whenever a browser is executing, it means session is created, like, and once the browser is closed or crashed by any reason, it means the session is closed. And now after session closing, if we are calling any method means if we are trying to execute any another command related to Selenium, at that time we will get this no such session exception. And the solution for this, to avoid this handle, ensure that you are using a updated or stable browser so that that particular flow will not terminate by crashing the browser. Now let's see the next one, that is no alert present exception. When this exception will occur, let's see, when the user is trying to switch an alert which is not present. In simple term, it means that the test is too quick and trying to find an alert that has not been opened by the browser because of slowness issue. So now our script will try to find that particular alert, but because of slowness issue that alert is not comes up still. That time we will get this no alert present exception. And the solution for this one, to handle or simply avoid this exception, we have to use explicit or fluent wait in all events where an alert is expected, or we can use this expected condition related to alert is present or not. Now let's see the next one, that is no such attribute exception. This occurs when we cannot find the attribute of the element or trying to get an attribute that is not available for particular web element. And the solution for this one is to handle or simply avoid this exception, make sure that the attribute should be available for the web element. So let's suppose there is one button and that button don't have any class attribute, and if you're trying to get that particular class attribute which is not associated with that particular button, in that case we will get this no such attribute exception because that particular button don't have class attribute. So now let's see the next one, that is no such context exception. So happens in mobile devices testing, and it's thrown by context aware if we are trying to switch the context which is not available. This is the method With the help of we can switch the context. So let's suppose in a mobile application right now we are on the native view, means native context, and at that time if we will try to switch to a web context that is currently not available, it means we are tending to throw this exception, no such exception, because that particular web context is not available and we are still trying to switch to web context. And solution for this one is to handle this exception. First we can get all the context using get context handle method and then switch accordingly.